So what is emergency preparedness, emergency management? I'm sure most of you are familiar with emergency management. Every county is required to have an emergency management program. Emergency preparedness is just that. It's one of the phases of emergency management, and it focuses on preparing for disasters, whether they're man-made or natural. So for the East Central Florida Regional Planning Council, under emergency preparedness, these are some of the tasks we do. We are funded by both grants and the council funding as well. So we update and write plans for both the cities and counties. Every county, again, is required to have an emergency management program. As part of that, they're required to have what's called a comprehensive emergency management plan, and it states how that county will respond to disasters should they occur in their area, in their jurisdiction. So cities are not required to have emergency management plans per se. Cities can piggyback off of their county emergency management plans. Some cities, however, decide to have their own plans in place, which benefits everyone, the community, because it takes less stress off, or takes stress off of their county when responding to disasters. So this past year, we were lucky enough to write plans for the city of Deltona in Volusia County and the city of Cocoa in Brevard County. We've also helped Volusia County update their 5-year update of their local mitigation strategy and their updated floodplain management plan. And we're currently working with Sumter County updating their local mitigation strategy plan as well for their 5-year update. In addition to updating and writing plans, we write and coordinate exercises with cities, counties, public and private entities. So we use either council funding to do that, which is the list of exercises we've participated in this past year. And then we also work with contracts directly with agencies such as the Central Florida's Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 4. We did a full-scale exercise for them in June, and what we did was simulate a deployment. We all know they got deployed to Houston for Hurricane Harvey and did search and rescue out there and saved many, many lives. So this time they wanted to focus on the scenario was a pedestrian bridge that collapsed onto a highway, which did happen down south in Florida. So we did a 36-hour deployment. We actually slept at the Orange County Fire Rescue Training Facility in the tents. They're completely self-sustaining, cooked meals and everything. So, and they took turns on the rubble pile that we created with concrete and hiding dummies in the rubble and everything. We also partnered with Orange County Public Schools and did a full-scale exercise. And I have a video of that.
Orange County Public Schools, coordinating with community partners and first responders, hosted a 2-day exercise in response to an active assailant scenario. During day 1, flashing lights, alarms, and announcements over the intercom simulate a lockdown of the school while an active assailant is on property. Students and faculty that are on campus during the incident follow the standard response protocol. This is where individuals must figure out the situation and make the best decision during the incident, such as hide out, get out, or take out the assailant. Once law enforcement arrives, they search for the active assailant while implementing appropriate protocol and procedures, as well as the necessary functions and actions related to preparedness, response, and recovery from a hostile active shooter. Additional law enforcement officers continue to search the campus to locate any further threats or victims. Fire rescue teams are incorporated with law enforcement to seek out injured victims to ensure they are treated and evacuated quickly. Remaining uninjured students are evacuated to a predetermined location to be accounted for and reunited with their families. Day 2 focused on the reunification process following the incident. Orange County Public Schools staff presented an overview of activities as well as a walkthrough of how the process would function. At the conclusion of the day, participants were then split into families. The students were transported in groups at the reunification site, while frantic parents went through the appropriate processes to be reunited with their children.
So in addition to trainings and exercises, we also teach and attend training courses. This is just a handful of training courses that we did throughout the year. We did hold a total of 19 training courses that were funded with council funding outside of the additional grant funding that we use to hold HAZMAT type training classes to first responders under the HAZMAT grant that we receive every year. State statute creates the LAPC, the Local Emergency Planning Committees, and for our region, I'm the LAPC coordinator, so I receive a grant to perform 10 tasks throughout the year to support LAPC functions. These are some of those tasks, which includes attending quarterly meetings with the state and the 9 other LAPC coordinators in the state, holding our own LAPC meetings, which the next one is in Seminole County in 2 Fridays on November 22nd, if anyone would like to attend. We also do HAZMAT, as I stated before, HAZMAT trainings and ECFRPC compliance, the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know federal law for hazardous materials. As one of our planning projects, each year we have put on the annual Florida Hazardous Materials Symposium. January 2020 will be our 8th annual HAZMAT Symposium. In January 2019, we had 602 attendees. So it's not just Florida anymore. We've expanded to all states in the United States and even kind of international. We had one single guy from Argentina, so we count that as international. And we asked him why he came by himself, and he said he was the only one who spoke English, so from his agency. So we received 82 white papers when we did the call for white papers, and we were able to accept 68 white papers for the 2020 symposium, which will give us 236 hours of classroom and hands-on trainings for first responders. One contract we do receive is called Hazard Analysis Contract from the state, and that is in support of that ECFRPC law, which requires facilities dealing with hazardous materials or housing hazardous materials to report to the state every year by March 1st. So under this contract, we go visit those facilities and verify what they're reporting. We have 5 counties out of our 8 that we do, and that comes to 436 facilities that we have to visit every year. And lastly, technical assistance. Again, using the council funding, we participate in many committees and memberships. Task Force 4, Planning Manager. As the Urban Search and Rescue, I could get deployed in the event of a disaster not in our region. So Houston was pretty rare for our Urban Search and Rescue to be deployed outside of the state. Normally it's in-state, but because of our specialty for swift water rescues, they were deployed. I did not go on that. And we also offer EOC support when we all thought we were going to get hit by Hurricane Dorian. Sumter County Emergency Manager Dave was the first one to call me and call dibs on us. So there's only 2 of us in the Emergency Preparedness Division, and with 8 counties and a couple cities who stand up emergency operations centers that we try to support when we can, and first come, first serve in the event of a disaster. We also helped out during Pulse for the city of Orlando, and they were activated for many weeks. And we do grant writing and applications and partnerships, standalone for the Regional Planning Council and partnerships. And this is one of the grants that we did receive. It was a PHMSA grant, U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration grant. and we received $78,000, and we did a gap analysis, if you will, overlaying in a GIS map pipelines running through our state or through our region, and then we overlaid the fire department locations, and we identified fire departments within half a mile or less of major pipelines, and then we selected agencies who did not have hazardous materials special operations groups for their fire department. Seminole County, City of Orlando, Orange County all have their own hazmat teams. So we selected smaller agencies to receive these gas meters to help mitigate the response and, you know, conduct evacuations and so forth should there be an emergency in a gas pipeline. And that was the presentation picture of many of the chiefs. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Michelle. Any
Yes.
questions? Commissioner.
That's all right, I appreciate it. I understand everything is unique to the circumstances and what you have to invest in terms of resources, but what is a typical training exercise run either for active shooter or working with any OC? Do you have even a range?
I mean,
Cost-wise, yes ma'am.
It does depend. I mean, to do an active shooter, that was obviously very expensive. It was 2 days. We had many, many agencies. It was Orange County Public Schools, but it wasn't just Orange County Sheriff's Office. It was City of Orlando, City of Windermere, Winter Garden, Ocoee, a lot of the smaller agencies. But we also had partners from Lake County, Seminole County, Sumter County, all come out and help. So to put on that exercise was right around $100,000.
Okay, that gives me an idea. And how do I call dibs on you for either EOC help or help with something like that?
Well, when we're watching a hurricane come, I guess just call us up.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
For the ICS 300 and 400, that's all you thought, right? So what are the parameters? Request?
Just a request. I'm a certified trainer for the state for both of those courses, and those are required for both cities and counties. Agencies nowadays who want to request FEMA funds, they're required to have most of your employees with those certifications, and again, it's no cost. So 300 is typically 3 days, and then 400 is a day and a half. You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Michelle, for the important work that you
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.